needing to get bailed out for billions of dollars. And after getting bailed out by billions of dollars, they're going back to the casino and continuing to short it. Hey everybody, how's it going? So yesterday I did a video on a GameStop. I can't believe I'm going over this for a third time. It is a stock that went from about 10 or 20 bucks all the way up to $144. It was actually at 144 bucks when I opened OBS and sat down to do this video, and is now sitting at $149. It was 148 before I hit the button, and I just wanted to talk a little bit more about what's going on here. So the TLDR, I did a 30-minute video explaining the entirety of this yesterday. Long story short, a bunch of hedge funds and institutional investors bet on GameStop failing. Rather than just, take some of their money off the table after they made it, they decided to keep shorting it and shorting it and shorting it. When you short a stock, you are selling it immediately after you borrow shares but don't pay for them, but then you need to buy back in later. If you think the stock's going to go down, you sell it and you get the money for its current price, and then you buy back in later at the low price. That's the whole point. If the price goes up over time, you lose. And since a stock, when you buy shares, can just go to zero, there's a limit to your loss. With a short, there is no limit to your loss. A stock cannot go negative. It can't go past zero for the most part, but it can go up infinitely. So if you shorted this stock at $4 to $10 and now it's up to $148, that's over 1,000% loss actually. And apparently that's not enough. So what we are seeing here is the price continue to go up as they continue shorting it. So this is from Bloomberg. Again, this is not from Wall Street Bets. This is not some random crap on some shady news site. Bloomberg.com. GameStop short sellers reload bets after $6 billion loss. GameStop stock equal to 139% of its available shares has been borrowed and sold short. Now, what does this mean? Well, if there are available shares in the market and you've only shorted this much, well, you'll be able to buy back in later when the price goes down. However, if there's no shares available for you to buy, then once you finally go to buy the shares that you borrow or pay for the shares that you borrowed, you're going to cause the price to do this because there's nothing available. As I said yesterday, if there's two phones available and two people who want a phone, well, you'll be able to sell the phone. If there's two phones available and 20 million people who want a phone, the price of this phone is going up because there is a limit. More people want it than the people who can buy it. And that, as there's more demand than there is supply. As a result of that, the stock is going up insanely. There is a $10+ billion market cap on what is, in my opinion, a soon-to-be blockbuster, obsolete-ish retailer. I know they have a new executive team, the Chewy guy, and they want to do all this new crazy shit. I don't have as much faith as others. But my point here is that this price over here is reflective of the fact that the people who are short in the stock need to buy back in. Now, as they buy back in, not only are they losing money because they sold at 10, they got the money from selling at 10 or 4, now they got to buy back in at 149, but as they buy back in, remember, the more people bidding for something, the more people trying to bid a price of something up and there's a limited quantity, the more it goes up. And as you can see here, they have, what was the cost of interest here? Yeah, the stock borrow fee is currently 23.6%. That is one hell of a rate, which is going to cause them to lose more and more money and bleed out more and more money the longer this goes on. Now, what I find to be interesting here is that I don't think that the people who are doing this, or at least the people who are purchasing this, actually care about their own personal investment. I don't think they care about their bank account. I don't think they care. Even though they say they want it to go to the moon so they can make money, deep down, I don't think the people who are buying GameStop right now, not the shorts that are covering, the normal retail investors, I don't think they care about the money. I think what they care about is sticking it to the people on Wall Street that have been robbing the American people blind for over 13 years, who every time they fuck up and destroy the economy, wind up getting bailed out by taxpayer dollars. I think to them, this is a form of revenge. So everybody who buys and holds GameStop, if you buy whole GameStop and you hold it and you refuse to sell that GameStop share, that's going to bid up the price of GameStop when they are forced to buy back in. And if they have to buy back in at a higher price, that means they're going to lose more and more money. Now, to be clear, short sellers are not always bad people. Yes, you are betting on the company going down in price. You are betting on them failing. And if you have enough power and swing in the market because you're a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, you can actually crash the price as you're short selling and screw them all over. But the point being, short sellers do have a purpose in the market. As I've said, short sellers are some of the people that figured out that the housing market was a bubble. Short sellers are the people that realized that Enron was running a giant scam on their books. You have an incentive to see the price go down, meaning that you are going to dig through every single piece of fine print to find all the bullshit that a company is putting out there. So if a company says something that's not true, if something seems funny about their books, you have a financial incentive to say, that's not true. I think you're going to fail. Here's why I think that you're scamming everybody. The problem comes when you short over 100% of the available shares. Once you're shorting over 100% of the available shares, and doing what, again, I don't have evidence of this. I'm just saying in my opinion, there is a chance that there's some naked short selling going on here. Don't have any factual basis for it. Just throwing it out there that this could be a possibility. This shit is incredibly greedy. Instead of just saying, okay, the stock went down, let me take my chips off the table. I've made enough. No, I got to always keep adding a fucking zero to the end of my bank account. Again, if you're adding a zero to the end of your bank account, doing something that is productive for society, if you're getting rich because your company is providing services that are valuable, that people need, that people want, that people love, by all means, make as much money as you want. I'm not going to complain about you being a billionaire and me being a thousandaire. The world is not supposed to be fair, and you're not supposed to complain about the fact that the world is not fair all the time. I appreciate the fact that people out there that provide goods and services to people that make our lives better make money. Shorting over 100% of the available shares of a stock and then doubling down on it, and then no, this is an immoral way to make money. And the people who are responsible for this, the people who are behind this, are typically the same people that are behind all the other financial crashes that the taxpayer winds up bailing everybody out for. And what makes this so beautiful is just watching people get beat at their own game. Again, it's not like someone is being edgy and putting a guillotine in front of Jeff Bezos' house or some crap like that. This is their own game. They cornered themselves. They shorted it over 120%, and now they're losing at their own game, to the point where they're needing to get bailed out for billions of dollars. And after getting bailed out by billions of dollars, they're going back to the casino and continuing to short it. And you have to look at the last year. We've had this K-shaped recovery where you have hardworking Americans and hardworking people all over the world that get fucked. You know, again, you're not able to pay your rent. You're not able to pay your mortgage. You have Cuomo sitting there saying,
right,
you want to go to work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow. Right? You're working.
I am.
You're an essential worker. So go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of...
You're literally not allowed to work in the career that you work in, and you're not able to get an education because the institutions that would teach you how to get those essential skills are fucking closed, as if... Let's leave Cuomo for another fucking video. But you have all those people that are normal everyday workers that just got completely and utterly fucked by everything that's gone on over the past year, while the people at the top of the hedge funds are the people who are benefiting the most from the $4 trillion increase on the Federal Reserve balance sheet. So this is a way for the average everyday person, in my opinion, this is what they're thinking, is this is my way of sticking it to you. Because the longer I hold this share, regardless of what happens to me financially, the more you're going to have to pay. You got to pay that stock borrow fee of 23.6%. And if we hold, you're going to be forced to buy back in at an insanely high price, and you're going to lose money. Good. I think that's what's going through people's heads. I think there's this cultural moment happening where this is an incredibly entertaining way to solve the problem of wealth inequality. Again, it's not a full-scale solution. I'm not saying this is a full-scale solution, but you have all this talk about income inequality and corruption in the system and the Wall Street people that rob everyday working people blind. And this is just a very interesting way to go about dealing with that. And now this is starting to finally hit peak meme status. I thought peak meme status was several days ago. Then I thought peak meme status was yesterday. No. When an ex-executive of Facebook buys a bunch of, that is, I think, a billionaire, buys a bunch of calls, this is where you finally get peak meme status. You have Chamath here say, we bought February $115 calls on GameStop this morning, let's go. Because this picture is not a high-quality picture, I can't tell if that's a comma or a period. Did he buy 50 calls or 50,000 calls? I can't tell. Either way, you have billionaires here buying into GameStop, and one person here said it's not Reddit versus Ken Griffin, it's Chamath versus Ken. And Chamath, who is on the side of GameStop, said, I will win. You have multi-billionaires right now that are saying, you know what, fine, fuck it. Even I want to stick it to Wall Street, which I find to be absolutely hysterical. This is going to be something that I wind up showing to my children. Okay, so 2 days ago, I bought a teeny tiny bit of GameStop. Like it makes up, let's see, if I were to do the math on this, it makes up about like 1 or 2% of my portfolio. Not even. Like I'm not going to invest in this big time because obviously this could all come crashing down completely. To be clear, that's my position here. Less than 1% of my portfolio is GameStop, but I wanted to be able to say and show my grandkids at some point that I was that I was a part of this. Now, I know what people are saying about the valuation of the company, and I agree with them. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. I'm just a MacBook repair person sitting behind a bunch of fake flowers. This is ridiculous. There's no way it's worth $10 billion. I agree. That's why I would never let this meme take up more than 1% of my portfolio. That being said, what is value? Things have value because we believe they do. Why is it that I can get you to work for an hour or two on my roof in exchange for a crumpled up piece of paper that has 100 written in the corner? It's because you believe that it has value, and other people believe it has value, even though paper itself, this piece of paper fundamentally has no value. GameStop, when you look at the earnings, when you look at everything else, it may not have value to you, but apparently a lot of people like the stock. And because they like the stock, they say, we like the stock. And then they buy the stock. And then once they buy the stock, it then has that value. Now, since all these people like the stock, all the people that didn't like the stock, that decided to short it, who were responsible for there being over 100% shares shorted, need to get those people to sell. Because if they don't sell, then they're just going to keep bidding it up and up and up and up and up. And you have a group of people that they like that stock so much, they don't want to sell. And that's why the value is where it is. This has nothing to do with fundamentals. I don't think this has anything to do with fundamentals, at least. It has to do with what people are valuing it at based on their own subjective interpretation of what value means. To some, and this is just speculation, value does not come from net profit. It does not come from gross revenue. It does not come from users. It does not come from patents owned by the company. It does not come from potential for future revenue. It does not come from intellectual property. To some, the value in a stock might just be its potential to make corrupt, naked short-selling billionaires cry. To be clear, nothing in this video should be construed as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am a MacBook repairman in an Under Armour shirt in front of a bunch of fake flowers. That's about it for today. As always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.